Good evening, Lagos. Good evening, Nigeria, and across the globe, wherever you may be right now. This is the FN show with yours truly, Sonny Rabo, on your number one non-stop gospel radio, broadcasting live from the Diocesan Palace in the city of Lagos, Nigeria. We have every reason to say thank you to Baba God, because if you see what is happening around you and you're still alive, is enough to say thank you to God. That is why we are saying thank you to Baba God. So once again, I'm welcoming you to this show. And on this show today, we shall be looking at some issues. Am I going to be calling it love or hate? But what you need to do right now is to make sure that you grab your phone. If you don't have the Lagoon Radio app on your phone, all you need to do is to download the Lagoon Radio app from the Google Play Store or Apple Store in order for you to listen to us live, because you'll be missing if you don't have it. And that is why we are here today, to make sure that we feed you with the happenings in the drug abuse world. The DFN show is all about sensitization, primarily designed to bring information that is happening across the globe, across Nigeria, on the issue of drug abuse. If you look at the daily newspapers, if you look at the media, if you're very conversant even with the radio, you will agree with me that Nigeria, we're in a serious trouble. So once again, I want to welcome you. What I'll be going on this musical break, when I come back, I'm going to give you a gist, only on the FN show.
Show with Sonny Irapo on Lagoon Online Best Radio.
Drug free Nigeria show, we too good for drugs. I beg you make una stop am. Drug free Nigeria show, we too good for drugs. I beg you make una stop am. Let's take our use from all forms of drug abuse. Oh, we are the leaders of today and tomorrow. We are brighter star with brighter future. You have to understand the good is good and the bad can kill. The event show tells you the truth, so to get free, listen to the event show on Lagoon Radio, the best online radio. Let's take our youth from drugs. 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 Let's take our youth from drugs.
The FN show with Sonny Irapo on Lagoon Radio.
Let's
every Monday,
take our youth from drugs, only on DFN show that we are bringing this to you. And you know the DFN show is all about young people. It's all about Nigeria. It's all about giving our best. You know, when we go in the way of drugs, it means we shall be distracted, actually. And that is why we are bringing this show to you, so that you can be informed, because information is the fuel of life. And we are bringing these things so that you can live well, because some of these acts, they are very, very consequential. I must tell you. So it is better for you to stay well and stay healthy. And on the FN show, we are always ready to make sure we bring the happenings to you across the world. So once again, welcome from that theme song. That is our theme song. All we need to do is to tell you that you are too good for drugs. And on today's show, we shall be looking at a very, very serious matter. As I've said before, is it love or hate? You know, if you look across the social media space, you know, you'll be hearing on how the NDLA keep working. In fact, it bothers me if I read on the dailies, on the social media, and I listen to news. You must see one or two drug abuse stories, and it is not really, auguring well to us as a people. It means that we are in serious drug mess. If this is still happening, with the offensive approach of the NDLA, we still experiencing all this. Now, liken it to maybe 2-3 years back when this man wasn't there. It means what we are suffering today is as a result of these individuals who has also capitalized in this drug business to inflict some kind of hardship. What we're talking about insecurity, we're talking about banditry, all this as a result of drug abuse, because some individuals are feeding from this habit. Some individuals, they have made it as a point of duty to create this kind of hardship to feed this to feed themselves from this illegal business, causing pains to some families. And that is why we are sensitizing every one of us that if these things are happening, we must not disappoint ourselves, because Nigeria needs every one of us in order for we to live. So on today's show, if you look at one of the headlines on across all the media, you see that NDLEA intercept about 2,060 kilogram heroin, orders at Lagos airports, Ondo and Edo, including Kano. So if you go further again, he said arrest another fake soldier with drugs. Woman who attempted to struggle stunk hidden in wrap of Akpu into agency cell for a suspect. And these are some of the story we shall be looking at today, particularly a woman who concealed drugs in Akpu for his relation. Are we to say that this is love or hate? Somebody that is struggling with this kind of addiction, somebody who is already in the cell. All you need to do to provide solution to these individuals is to help these individuals smuggle drugs, loud cannabis, high definition of cannabis. So this your relation. Is this love or hate? When I'm back from this musical break, ladies and gentlemen, please join the conversation. I will be right back after this musical break.
Lagoon Radio.
enjoying cool music, cool and soul-lifting music from our very delectable Chidima Kusoba Bire. You know, this is the kind of song that we should be listening to. And I must commend her very strongly for coming out very strong at this point, you know, to use her voice to praise God. And these are the things we are talking, that every young individuals should look inwardly. God has created you for something. Don't die for nothing. Die for something. That is a wonderful one coming from Chidima. Only on DFN show that you got to listen to this kind of song on your number one non-stop gospel radio, the Lagoon Radio, as we are broadcasting live from the Diocesan Palace. Once again, I want to welcome you to the show. You know, before we went to that break, I was giving you the gist that is all over the place across the social media platforms, across newspapers, even radio and television, everywhere, of how, you know, the drug business is growing and how NDLEA is working very, very, how will I put it now? They are working 24/7 to make sure that young people's life are saved from drug abuse and addiction. If we fold our arms as people, if we don't take a collective stand, if you think that this fight is meant for Bubamawa alone, or it is for some of us that are talking, or the government, no. This fight should be a fight for the Nigerian people, because it's all about our life. It's all about how will you feel after carrying pregnancy for 9 months. You send your child, the boy or a girl, grew up from that infancy to become an adult. You send that individual to the higher institutions, graduated, maybe before graduating, fell victim and became a rusticated from school due to drug matters. These are the situation of things. This is what is happening presently. After spending whole resources, as I speak with you, some are addicted to drugs. Even families can no longer help. Many are roaming around the streets of Lagos, the streets of Abuja. You can just name it. There is nowhere in the country that we cannot see any drug matter or drug issue. So when we talk about drug, it's not just the federal government issue. It is our collective responsibility. As I always say, that even organization, are you going to employ a drug addict? Can you employ a drug addict? Even those that produce these substances, these spirits that we take, they still need somebody that is sensible. They need a responsible individuals to also market their products. They don't use their best customer to sell their product. Have you seen a drug card advertising for these individuals? Have you seen somebody that is falling in the street, somebody that fell maybe in some of these drainages advertising their products? You can never see them. That is to say, they are not even proud. They are not proud about their real customers. So why must you die for an organization that is not proud of you? Every organization that exists, what makes a good customer is when they are proud of their shareholders, you know. But these shareholders, this particular shareholder, they are not proud of you. So why must you die because of this individual, because of this organization? So some individuals have been feeding fat. They have been making blood money, killing our young people because they want to make money. So we are saying on DFN show that we cannot continue to live like this. We must pass across the relevant information. We cannot stop you from enjoying of a truth, but we can stop you from dying. That is what the DFN show is all about, because God has created you so that you can fulfill your purpose on earth. And we are bringing this thing to you so that you can be a better person. Because if you know more, you will act well, you will act accordingly. Information is not there for you. Maybe that is why you are behaving the way you are. So we are bringing all this information to you so that you can be a better citizen. Let me bring to you at this point that we cannot continue on DFN show at this moment without saying thank you to our Father, a man who is a pragmatic Christian. I call him, when you are looking for true definition of Christianity, he is a true representation. I'm talking about my father, your father, the most Reverend Dr. Humphrey Bamishebi Olumakaiye. Thank you so much for giving us this platform, not just for only me, but for many young people. We are aware of how you are also giving millions to first-class graduates. These are the type of things that we want to see, because if we must solve the issue of drug abuse, we must also toe this line. It's a reward system for young people. When young people are being rewarded like this, I think their energies will be channeled in the right direction. So once again, Your Grace, your son is saying thank you. Now back to the heart of the matter. Why I've been releasing this short, I want you to grab your phone. You can also be part of this conversation by visiting www.LagoonRadio.Ng so that you can listen to us live. Better still, you can drop your comments across all our social media platforms. On Facebook at LagoonRadio.Ng, Instagram, on Twitter. You can also send us messages at LagoonRadio.Ng. All you need to do is to grab your phone and download the Lagoon Radio app from any of the store, either Apple or Google Play Store. Now back to the matter. As I've told you before, it's all over in the news, and what we will be looking at today is this touching story, this touching matter of a woman. Let me read it from here so that we can follow suit. I'll just take a paragraph and I'm going to read to you of the headline. In a most audacious move, a nursing mother, 35-year-old Mariam Drisu, was arrested at Edo State Command Headquarters of the agency on Thursday, 21st October, while trying to smuggle drugs into cell for a suspect in custody. Officers on duty had, while searching the food brought by Mariam for her relation in custody, discovered 2 cups of loud cannabis weighing 13 grams buried inside the food apple meant for the suspect in custody. Now I'm wondering, you have a relation that is suffering. Maybe perhaps he was arrested because of this drug matter. All you need to do is to fuel the matter for this your relation. Somebody that is already dying, like what I posted on Facebook, that this is somebody that is suffering, somebody that is already dying. So you as a relation, Miriam, all you need to do is to kill that your relation the more by bringing a higher definition of cannabis. You didn't just bring it, you buried it. You concealed such substances into an edible apple so that these individuals can have access to drugs. Now, what is bothering to me is this. Is this love actually that you've shown, or you also demonstrate a high sense of hatred to this your relation? So we are bringing this story so that we all can really look at all these things very critically, because the issue of drugs, as I've said it before, people say something when go stop you from not going to farm. It never concern you, it concerns you. So this your relation is already in the NDLEA net for drug-related offense. All you need to do is to find a way to bring out this your relation, perhaps to also show him that love by maybe taking him to rehabilitation centers in order for him to be, maybe detoxifying the system so that he can become a better citizen. You didn't think in that direction. All you need to do is to fuel the offense of this young man that is already in the net of the NDLEA. Ladies and gentlemen, Lagos, Nigeria, across the globe, anywhere you are, you can be part of this conversation. I will continue with this conversation. When I'm back from this musical break, we will talk the more, only on DFN Show.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Take us down and build a land in faith to defend what is ours. Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom reigns and truth prevails. Our land where there's hope for us all.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.
We'll defend our land. We believe in this nation, and we know we'll get there. We'll defend our land. We believe in Nigeria and the promise she holds, and that one day we'll shine like the sun. We're a great nation. Though we are many people,
This is Lagoon Radio.
Lagoon Radio, you welcome back to DFN Show on your number one non-stop gospel radio, broadcasting live from the Diocesan Palace in the city of Lagos, Nigeria. That was a great one from Timmy Dakolo, Great Nation. For our nation to remain great, the people's contribution is very, very important, particularly the lives of young people. Your contribution to the gross domestic product is very, very important. It's germane. If your contribution is not felt, Nigeria can never be greater. Nigeria's greatness lies in your contribution, and that is why we frown at any attempt for individuals, call them drug lords, baron, individual smugglers that want to ensure that your life is cut short by making huge monies from your existence. We are saying no to these individuals because God has designed every one of us to make a contribution to Nigeria. It is not mistake that you are in Nigeria. You are born here so that you can make your contribution. to this country. So once again, we welcoming you back to DFN show. I can see some of the comments on Facebook. I want to thank David Siaka for your comment, and you are saying that this woman's demonstration, it means that she is not a true relation, because how will you bring a higher definition of cannabis and be given to your relation? It means you want to kill him the more. Actually, as I've said before, loud is a higher definition of cannabis. It means it's even stronger than cannabis itself, because it is mixed with different chemicals. And that is why you see young people that take loud. What happened to them is that some of them, they just go blunt. Some of them can just misbehave. Those who are not having a stronger system can just be affected by having mental issue. So it is not something that one should toy with. So for somebody like Mary and Drisu to be given or sending loud to his relation while in NDLEA net for an offense of drugs, and for you to even mitigate the matter, instead of you to mitigate it, you are fueling that matter by bringing loud to that your relation. It is not a good act. It's not a clear demonstration of love. So in this show, we are bringing this information to people for we to realize that our life matters. Our lives, either the lives of your neighbor, they matters, and we must show at every point in time this love, because without love our human existence is not complete. And that is why Jesus died for us, for we to also show that kind of love. So for somebody who is related to you, we might not know whether he's suffering from withdrawal symptoms or something, but at that point, provided that individual is already in that net, for you to go and be bringing this kind of substance to him is not something that is good. So we are condemning that act. I don't know where you two is going to be ending up, because I also feel for the minor, the little baby you carried on your back, which you took in doing this kind of act. What is going to happen now if peradventure the NDLEA, they grab you, and you too will be punished for this act? So we must be very, very careful in order for we not to launch our family members into deeper crisis, because we have a lot of crisis in our hands. We need to manage ourselves. We need to manage our situation, because every one of us, our collective existence is very important. If one is suffering, if you are in a better position to help, let us help, and not for we to cause more pains to the individuals. And only on DFN show that we are bringing information that can lead to transformation. So what you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, on DFN show, we are very much open for your advert. You want to run your advert, you want to promote your goods and services, you can just hurry down to just come to the studio, come and ask about the producer of DFN show so that we can advertise your products. Just hurry out to the church house and you will be attended to. We are very open and we are going to be selling your market for you. Anywhere you are, we will definitely sell your market. So we are bringing this to you. We want to continually bring this information to you, and for we to do that, we need you to constantly support us so that we can bring this information to you anywhere you are in the world. I will be going for a musical break, and when I'm back, I will give you more G's only on DFN show.
A child in the distance, playing in the rain, the sweet sound of water flowing away, a construction worker coming home from work to and their children going to church. A happy little baby drools on your shirt. What an extraordinary day. Let us have a world of ordinary people living life the way God wants us to. And if we have a world of ordinary people, extraordinary things will happen to me and you. Just a man, but he'd kill his son for the price of a lamb. And let us consider ordinary Job, who lost it all, but in God had his hope. Now ordinary David, a little shepherd boy, brought down Goliath with a stone and a toy. Little Jesus, ordinary child, the carpenter's first son, humble and mild. If anybody told you he'd be Messiah, you probably would laugh it off, I know. So let us have a world of ordinary people living life.
Let us have a world of ordinary people. Let us love ourselves. Let us be for one another. That is the essence of life. A wonderful one coming from Kobam Asukwa there, ordinary people. This message is coming from Charles. You say, I'm enjoying your show. My prayer for you is this, that this day men will rise for you and nation will rise and favor you. Thank you so much for bringing this message to me. Thank you, Charles, for your message. I sincerely appreciate you for following the show. Before we went on that musical break, we were bringing to you the story of a woman who sent a substance, loud precisely, to the relation. Why in NDLEA net? Somebody is already in the net. All you need to do is to, send, create more problem for the individuals, not just for that individual, even for yourself, because I don't think you are going to be going from this freely, because the NDLEA too is going to hold you responsible for this, your act. So we are bringing this show to you so that you can be informed, so that you can understand the type of things that is going on, the life that we are in. And we are saying that drug is not something any one of us should embark upon. Don't do drugs, because if you do, it's going to cause you a lot of pains. It's going to cause the family, it's going to cause your friends, it's going to cause your relations. So why must you embark on something that you will not enjoy? For example, for those of you who started taking drugs when you are about 38 to 40, you begin to see the effects of these things. It's going to be telling on your health. You begin to have health issues. For women, most of them are suffering today because of their actions, because of drugs that many of them are engaging today. Rev'd is all over the place. Women take it without knowing the consequences. Women even smoke cannabis more than some men. And some of these things causes a lot of problems to our body. Infertility today is high. Family disintegration is high. Youths into criminality is high because of this issue. So when we look at the drug problem, it is something that is causing a lot of societal ills. Are we to mention the banditry? We had a story of people that supplies fuel to the bandits in the forest. People that supplied it, all these people, they end up in the NDLEA net. So what we are saying is this: if you must do any business, do a legitimate business, a business that you will do and be at peace with yourself. Don't do a business that will jeopardize your existence, that will bring shame and disgrace to your family. Only on DFN show that we bring all this information to you, because we know that you are too good for drugs. Don't do it. Today we've seen a boy of 5 smoking. We've even seen parents that is aiding some children into drugs. These are the law should also hold these individuals responsible. But because of the weakness of the law, some of these people, they are walking freely. So we must also protect our world. We must protect our children. We've seen 5, we've seen 8, we've seen 9, smoking. We've seen parents sending these children to go and buy some of these substances. And at the end of the day, these children will taste these substances even when you are not there. So we are bringing all this information to every member of the public so that we can live right, because your children, they are your assets. Don't do anything that will bring shame and disgrace to you. Only on DFN show that we will continue to speak our mind as far as the drug matters that is killing young people in Nigeria and across the globe is concerned. Am I going for a musical break right now? When I'm back, we will talk more on DFN show, while we'll be rounding up the show very soon. Let me go on this musical break, and I will be back with you.
Listening to Lagoon Radio. This is Lagoon Radio.
Time is not always our friend at all on DFN show. We feel like staying here for 2 hours if only you come on board to sponsor, to advertise your goods and services. Once again, welcome back to DFN show. We've been bringing this to you, and you know what we're talking about? We must be our brother's keeper. Don't think that we can solve the issue of drug abuse when we live isolatively. We must make sure that we care for one another. A lot of young people today, they are suffering. It is our responsibility that we live for ourselves, we live for one another. I could remember where we were growing up. We grew up as a community child. When we are wrong, anybody in the community can correct us before our parents come back. But today, things are no longer like that. That is why young people today are suffering. Young people are experimenting with different substances as a result of this lacuna. On DFN show, we are saying that we must be our brother's keeper. We must live for one another. That is the best way we can build a better and a stronger society. You got the music? For a great nation to be attained, it requires a collective responsibility. While we'll be rounding up this show, I want to thank my producer. Thank you so much for always being there. I sincerely appreciate you for standing strong in order for we to collectively rescue the lives of young people from the den of drugs and substances. On the DFN show, we'll be seeing you by God's willing next week. And when we come on Monday, we shall be bringing another strong and exciting episode of DFN show with yours truly, Sonny Rabo. You got to listen to the best, latest music, news across the globe only on Lagoon Radio. See you next week, God's willing, on DFN show. Bye for now.
This is Lagoon Radio.